Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Welcome to the Unphased Podcast, the number one motivational show in the world, where we do our best to show you how we stay unfazed in this world that will definitely try to phase you. I'm gonna be here as always. Real Midnick Deal is gonna be here
Hey man, you
too,
got
but
one more time.
he
You got
ain't
one more
been.
time.
I'm gonna keep messing it up, and I'm gonna stay solo for this too because he ain't even that real because he ain't still ain't worked out. This is day 12 of the 30-day unfazed and still ain't got a workout in. So I don't know if he that real, but today we got a very special episode for y'all today. It's gonna be a really good one, man. We got somebody. This is gonna be one of them episodes that inspires you. This
Yeah.
is one of my brothers, man. This is someone who has an incredible story. Westchester's finest, a two-time dunk champion, Harlem Globetrotter Star. He's an electrifying athlete, electrifying course worldwide, showcasing jaw-dropping dunks and a passion for the game. I've met him several times. We've hung out several times. This dude's a true motivator. He embodies the spirit of never giving up, inspiring both elite athletes and fans to reach for greatness. So I want to dive into the journey of a man who's not just playing basketball, but redefining limits. Today, we have no one other than Mr. Jason Buckets Barrera coming at you right when we get back. Let's go.
I'm unfazed, I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper. I'm unfazed, I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper. I'm unfazed.
Yo, man, that intro was amazing, man.
Oh
That
man,
intro
I
was
appreciate
amazing.
it, brother. I try my best, man. I try my best, and this is what I say to everybody that says that, bro. 'Cause like last time we had a guest on, they said I did a good intro too. It's about making the guests feel good, talking about their accolades. But a lot of the people that we're bringing on and we're choosing to bring on for the 30 days, 'cause we're not just bringing anybody on. So we're
Yeah,
bringing people on that like really kind of embody what we're doing here, and it's like you've done that, bro. Every time I
for
met you, you've
sure.
been very
Appreciate you.
cool. I
Appreciate
watch
that,
your
man.
Instagram and everything, and I follow you, bro. So very inspiring, bro,
Appreciate
to
that.
see what you're doing.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
appreciate you having me, guys. I'm excited to talk about the task at hand. So, what's up, man? What's everybody feeling today?
All
Any
like
Love
the
Man,
Island
energy,
watchers? Any
baby.
Love Island watchers?
so
Negative.
look, we
We
just
don't we
had
don't do drama
we
on
had
this
a whole
house.
discussion about that. I'm not into it yet, and
We
I
don't
don't
do
know if I'm
drama
gonna
here.
get into it. I don't know if I'm gonna let Love Island get me yet. I don't know though. Are you a
Yeah,
big Love Island watcher?
Are
I'm a
you?
big Love Island. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
too
don't
much
ruin
about
it.
Oh,
it.
yo,
Don't
But
we
ruin it.
spoil stuff around here.
I was very
You
disappointed last night.
spoiler.
I will say that. I'll say that.
Oh, really? So, wait. My thing is, I don't even really get it because I don't watch it. Is it like the fans are voting on if people stay on the
That's
island or
what they
not? Or
say.
it's
I'm gonna be honest with you. I just started watching this time around because my girl watched it last year,
yeah,
last season, whatever the case may be, and she was talking about it every day because I guess episodes come on every single day.
every
Damn.
So
day?
she was talking about it except Wednesday and Saturday. So she was watching it every
What?
day, and I'm like, I don't know what you're watching, but whenever she had it on, I was watching like whenever the case may be. So this year I
Yeah.
was like, I'll watch it. I had nothing else to do, and I was cooked, man. So basically, it's about single individuals. Let's just
Okay.
say 6 men, 6 women. They go on a game show for about month or two, and they basically got to try to find love. But
Mm,
America votes who they like. So even if you're coupled up and you find love, doesn't mean you can't get voted off. So even though it is about finding love, it's also
oh
about being
wow.
America's favorite. It's a whole bunch of it's a bunch of
Well,
nonsense. To be honest
today
with you,
you
yeah,
are today you're America's favorite. You know what I'm saying? And you
yeah,
found love in your
Come
passion
on.
and your
amen,
game for the sport.
amen.
So you've been
Come
voted on
on,
this
man.
episode for
America
sure.
let me down though. So
Come on, man. Come on. Come on. But yeah, brother, we brought you on the pod definitely because we've had several conversations, but like we had Max on the pod a little while ago too, and I was like, man, we definitely got to bring you on the pod because I definitely just want to know, like, starting with your story.
yeah,
You
for
know what I mean?
sure, for
Kind of
sure.
where, because I know basketball is a big thing for you. I kind of want to know where that journey started.
Yeah,
And
I
the
think I think yeah.
I
What's
was
that?
gonna say, even before we get in that, the beautiful thing, I just wanted to say this, the beautiful thing about having guests on like Jason, like Max, these are young men of minority, black African American males who came from a, you know what I'm saying, situation just like yourself. Like you
Yeah,
said, this episode's gonna be very inspiring because we're gonna be having an opportunity to deep dive into what inspired him to do what he's doing now
for
and
sure.
basically dive into his background as to how he got where he's at and to let you know that it's not impossible. So
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
for sure, for sure. And I think if I'm being honest with you, my journey starts just growing up. You know, my parents got divorced when I was very young, so I lived in a single parent house. My mom took care of us, man. She was the head of the household, the disciplinary action, everything. So growing up, she was working like 2 jobs, wouldn't get home until like 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Wow.
So it was up to me and my younger brother Daniel. We were always at the park. Every day after school, we were at the park. If it was raining, we'd go to our friend's house. But on the weekends, from sun up to sundown, we were at the park. Because honestly, it became a spot where, you know, we didn't want to be in the house all day. You know, that's when everybody went outside. That's when kids went outside.
Right?
So we didn't want to be at the house all day. So we were like, let's just go to the park. And I'm talking everybody linked up at the park. We'll be there from literally the crack of dawn until the sun went down. And we stayed, we stayed out of trouble. We just played basketball. We just walked around the village, whatever the case may be. We had moved so many times growing up. To be honest with you, I moved around like 8 times growing up, like literally legit 8 times because, you know, whether it's getting evicted for making too much noise, it's 4 of us. It's 4 of us in the house. You know, me, my younger brother, older sister, older brother. So when we were young, we were making a lot of noise. My mom was working. So
so
we were getting evicted, kicked out. So, you know, but when we were stationary, we spent most of our time on Mamaroneck. And that's when we went to the park there and, you know, whatever the case may be. But, you know, growing up, basketball was a safe spot. That's where I went to, you know, hone my craft, play with my friends, just have fun, honestly. And that's where I really just went to escape. So when it got to the chance to go play high school, of course, I played high school at Alexander Hamilton, very small high school. So small that I was playing center. I'm only like 6'1" at the time. And at the time, I was probably like 6 foot, to be honest with you. I'm 6'1" like now, but I was playing center. I jumped very high, so I guess that's why they put me there. But because I played center in high school, it kind of, I don't want to blame it on high school because obviously everybody has the same 24 hours. I could have worked outside of high school, but in my practices, I was only playing big man positions. So I didn't work on the guard skills. So when it came time to graduate and go to college, I had no guard skills. I'm 6'1", so it's like, you're not a center, you're a guard. So I had to kind of relearn basketball over again. I went junior college at Monroe College in New Rochelle. And then after JUCO, I transferred to Mount St. Vincent with the athletic scholarship. With an academic scholarship because it's D3. I got on the dean's list. So I got the academic scholarship and played there.
Wow.
From there, man, I really just developed my skills. I would say I'm definitely a late bloomer as far as confidence and basketball in general. By the time I graduated, I was a 3-point shooter, dribbler, dunker, and I did it all.
Switching it up,
So I had a choice to either go play professional and get my degree overseas in Europe. That was an option I wanted to do. And also play with the Harlem Wizards. So I ultimately went with the Harlem Wizards.
And, the Harlem Wizards is like still in the league with the Globetrotters, right?
So I would say the Harlem Wizards, just to make sure everything makes sense. The Harlem Wizards and the Harlem Globetrotters are similar in a sense of they do show basketball, right? Exhibition games are for entertainment. But the Harlem Wizards are a fundraiser. So say if you have podcasts, right? You want to raise money for your podcast. So say you have a gym. You're like, all right, let's host an event, a game. Your podcast group versus the Harlem Wizards. The money we raise from those tickets sold and the concessions and the merchandise, half go to the Wizards, half go to you. So they're a fundraiser. The Globetrotters are a Broadway show. You pay to watch the Globetrotters.
You're trying to give us some game right now, Paige. If we can't get that up.
Hey man, it's definitely not a bad thing to go look at for sure.
Facts.
But the Harlem Wizards, Harlem Globetrotters are more like a Broadway game, and you know. You're going and you're paying to see some of the best athletes in the world. But so I joined the Globetrotters in 2019. That's when I joined the Wizards in 2019 after I graduated college from Mount St. Vincent.
And even before that, like you get into that next thing, one thing that you kind of were talking about, like us being athletes too, like me and E, like I was playing in the UFL, like we're going on these football journeys and stuff, trying to get to that next level. I know there was a point that you're hooping, right? So it's like you want to be in the NBA. It's like I'm trying to get to the NBA, do whatever it is. So I kind of want to know what that, not even transition of mindset, because like we're still hooping in a way, right? So and like just like me, just like E and everything. But what was your mindset like? When it was like, okay, maybe it's not the NBA, but maybe it's okay. I'm with the Wizards.
Honestly, it literally comes right there. So after that story of just graduating college and whatever the case may be, I joined the Wizards in 2019. And the biggest eye-opening thing was as soon as I signed with them, we had done the halftime show for the Olympics, the Olympic qualifiers or something in China. So we flew out to China. It was my first time using my passport, first time flying out the country, and I went to China of all things, right? So
that's crazy.
I went to China of all places. We had like a whole, they treated us like royalty over there. Man, I'm talking like people taking pictures with us just because we're black in uniform. So everybody was taking pictures with us. So we were popping. And
what they said on Rush Hour, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
Yo, but they confused me. They thought I was Chinese for sure, bro. They thought I was Chinese. So it was funny. They asked me if I was Chinese. I'm not Chinese. So whatever the case may be. So China was really the eye-opening thing. They treated us like royalty over there. They did like a whole sneaker drop. I love sneakers. I'm a big sneakerhead. They had like a big sneaker drop they did. I actually have the kicks. I'm gonna show you guys in a few. But they gave them out to us, and it was a big event. Like thousands of people were there, and we were like the spokesman people there. Didn't speak, but we just spun the ball, did tricks, whatever the case may be. So just to see how basketball can translate to more than just NBA. You don't have to be an NBA to make an impact playing basketball. So once I saw that firsthand, I realized that you can still get paid and make a living doing what you love, even if it's not the NBA. And that goes for, like you said, football, anything, honestly, for example, even baseball at this point with the Savannah Bananas, right?
Nah, for real.
That's it, right. So, to that point, though, how big, knowing that the dream was always the NBA, right? As a young kid, that's everybody's dream, NBA, NFL, Major League. When you get to a point, where do you start to realize NBA might not be the trajectory right in this moment? It's not over. Well, when do you get to that point where you understand, okay, I can pivot right here and still make something of this and still stay on the course to what I want?
If I'm being honest with you, I think the biggest thing for me when I realized, maybe I'm not where I'm supposed to be as an athlete was when I was transitioning into college. I didn't have any guard skills. Like I said, I play big man. So there's people who play guard, obviously, at my height, just as athletic, but they play guard. So I didn't have any handle. I had no type of bag, man. I had a drop step. And a big man post up. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
And I rebound everything. But like, as far as like, breaking someone down on the dribble or any of that, it was a dub for that. I could do a fast break, of course. I can catch lobs. But my skill just was not there at the college level. And even when I transitioned from the JUCO level to the NCAA D3 level, I still was making buckets, whatever the case may be. But I wasn't playing the guard game that I knew an NBA player needed to have. So it wasn't until Max actually went viral with that dunk that made him famous. That I saw that there was an avenue that I can get paid for dunking. And then from there, I made my dunk page and started dunking and posting videos and stuff like that, which allowed me to even join the Harlem Wizards. So I guess that was a big thing I forgot to even mention, that, because of Max's dunk, I started posting videos online. And then they started seeing my stuff. And the Harlem Wizards had reps that reached out to me to come try out. So from there, I tried out, made the team.
And I don't know if it was just like my algorithm but I'm pretty sure everybody was seeing this at some point. But there was a time where it was like, I noticed that basketball transitioned into, it's not just the NBA. The entertainment in basketball didn't just come from the NBA and playing 2K. No, dudes are dunking. They're doing all type of dunking content, basketball content and stuff.
I think someone who really shows, and you probably know him just because you're in the football world, and Destroying. Remember, he used to post those videos kicking the football. And he got banned from the NCAA for that, right? So he was a content creator making football content. It wasn't NFL, but he was making money, right? So, there's always a way to pivot. As long as you're entertaining, there's always a way to pivot and make what you love your passion. Like, think about even podcasts. Podcast wasn't necessarily a thing, and now people are getting money to talk, like
exactly.
You're good at talking, you can get paid.
For real, just to kick it.
So, it's all about, being creative, honestly. That you just have to be creative.
It's about being creative, and I feel like
and get stuff going. Exactly,
because if I was doing what you do,
if I wasn't creative, then I wouldn't even think about the Harlem Wizards. I'm just thinking, all right, I have to go play in Russia, or I don't want to be across the world. You know what I mean? I'd rather just be in America. Whatever the case may be. So, whatever the case may be. Long story short, with the China trip, we came back from China, which was an amazing trip. Like I said, first time out the country, first time using my passport. So I was ready for the season. But a month into the season, I broke my foot, Jones fracture. So I was out for the rest of the season of my rookie year with the Harlem Wizards. And that was 2019. So by the time 2020 rolled around, you guys know what happened. We were all in a shutdown. So I would say that's a good place to just put a bookmark real quick, just because I want to say, when I did break my foot and I did, have that time to reflect, I honestly went to like a deep, I don't want to say depression, because depression is not something I just want to throw around loosely. But I was sad as heck, man. I didn't think I would ever play basketball again. I didn't think I would ever play basketball, or let alone dunk again. I thought it was over. So I literally just was like, okay, I made my dream. I went to China, and now it's all over that quick. And that
and
really
in that
was,
moment, like, stay right there real quick. In that moment, because we all had our battles. Challenge. FaZe understands the challenges, the battles. We've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, facts.
In that moment, when you felt like, dang, this could be it. And I understand, like you said, everybody's gonna have their moment to sulk.
Mm-hmm.
What was your triggering point where you knew, like, okay, it's time to fire back, it's time to get back in the groove, get back in motion? This, like, when you stop counting yourself out and start, okay, we gotta go get this.
I think the biggest thing to do when you face adversity is just look at the perspective of everybody that's affected by it. Because for instance, I broke my foot, but I'm not the only person to break my foot. I'm not the first person to break the foot. I'm not the last person to break the foot.
Yeah.
And I started looking it up. Michael Jordan broke his foot. I'm like, oh, Michael Jordan broke his foot. Off the top of my, I can't think of anybody else but Michael Jordan. Yes. So that was the main, like, oh, Michael Jordan did it. So whatever the case may be. Yeah. And also it's like, just like we're in a lockdown, everybody's in a lockdown. It's not just me. So you just have to think about a perspective that, it's not just a you thing. It's not you against the world. Everybody's going through similar challenges in their life, and everybody has to find a way to persevere. So the way I saw it was, okay, everybody's in lockdown, and yes, my foot is broken, but now because we're in lockdown, I have a lot of time with no pressure to get healed. I can heal up with no pressure because there's no pressure of anybody calling me like, you coming back? No, because everybody shut down. There's no pressure of anybody like, yo, if you don't come back next game. Everybody was shut down. So I had so much time to just, at my own pace, come back to a mental spot where I was like, all right, let's get back on track. So that was a big thing for me for sure. Another thing I didn't mention, you don't really realize what you don't mention until you start talking, and you're like, all right, I lost my father the day before my 13th birthday. So that was the first thing that ever really affected me in a way where it changed my whole life. Like before my father passed away, I was a lackluster student, didn't take things too serious. I'm still a little bit of a clown, but I was very much so not interested in school. I was failing. I had probably like a 1.7 GPA. When my father passed away and I took, a little break and then I came back, everything changed. As far as basketball, I was more locked in. Schoolwork, I was more locked in. I was able to get my grades up to a 3.0. And the reason I got the academic scholarship to Mount St. Vincent, like I mentioned, was because I had a 3.65 GPA. So I was locked in. Like my dad passing away really changed my mindset. It made me look at everything again, like perspective. I'm not the first person to lose their father. I'm not the last person to lose their father. So I really just had to look at my mom and see how much she sacrificed for us. And I'm like, if my mom could work 2 jobs and bust her ass to do whatever the case may be, I can't do something in school. I can't, you know what I mean? So, I've always had adversity in my life. So breaking my foot was a new experience in the sense of I never broke my foot, but no different mental. So, I just had to lock in and get my mind right. And by the time, COVID started to lift up a little bit, the workouts were doing good. I started dunking again. And me and Max were playing a game of Fortnite. Literally to this day, we're playing a game of Fortnite. It's the funniest thing. He's like, yo, you want to try out for the Harlem Globetrotters? On the game of Fortnite. And I'm like, we're about to lose this game because we're not locked in right now. But yeah, I want to try out for sure. But let's talk about that, after this. Right?
Let's get this done.
Yeah, because we're over here fighting the storm and stuff. Like we're running away from people. He's over here talking about Globetrotters. I'm like, there ain't no time for Globetrotters talking right now.
Time for that right now.
But at that time, like I said, the restrictions started to lift up. So the Globetrotters had a set schedule that they already had. They were like, they had the ball rolling. The Wizards were a little more delayed. They didn't know what they were going to have. So they were a little more choppy in that sense. So at the time, it was either, go back to the Wizards and, I'm healed now, finish out the rest of my rookie season and, come back. But, I wasn't sure what the schedule was going to look like. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Opposed to the Globetrotters, new experience. It's the Harlem Globetrotters. And they had a full tentative schedule that they had ready to go.
Exactly.
So I was like, I'm gonna go with the guarantee. So that's when I signed with the Globetrotters in 2021. And man, I've been here for the last 4 years. I've been to Poland, Germany, Mexico, Canada, traveled the world teaching basketball and just seeing that even though we don't speak the same language, in instances of Germany and Poland, as soon as that basketball comes out and we start spinning and having fun, everybody's having fun. Basketball is a universal language of just love. And then community engagement, man. It's all about bringing everybody together.
That's huge.
Matter
That's
of
huge.
race, religion, creed, gender don't make a difference.
That's huge, man. And what does that even look like? Because I don't know much about when do you have to try out or like audition? Or
So the tryout was very unique in that sense. So, so Max asked me to try out. He said that to me. I said yes. Didn't hear too much about it. And the funny part, where was I at? I think I was had to be at like a water park or Dorney Park or something. I was at like a music park or something. And I get a call from the recruiter. And I'm like, oh, and I'm midway, like walking through Ross. I'm like, oh, I gotta take this. So I'm dumb. I'm like, hello. He's like, yeah, we really like your stuff. And Max recommended you. We like to schedule a date to fly you out to Atlanta for the tryout. So in that moment, I'm like with my family and friends. So I'm like, oh, it's lit. So I'm dumb hype. I'm talking and I'm like, all right, cool. Let's set this up. Send me an email. So he sent me the email. I finished my day at the water park. And after that, I just started setting it up. So we flew out. I want to say we flew out maybe in May. And we flew out to Atlanta because they have like a sponsorship with Lake Point over there. So we flew out to Atlanta and they had the tryout with a whole bunch of people who played Division I, Division II. Maybe 1 or 2 D3 people, not anybody I know off the top. And, you know, like I said, I'm 6'1", not tall, but I played center. So I've always been bouncy, whatever the case may be. So long story short, we're playing basketball, like a regular basketball practice. We literally trained like regular basketball players. Then it got to the part to show off your skills in a sense. So they had the dribblers go to one side and then the dunkers go to one side. So the dribblers all my height, you know, 6'1", 6 foot, whatever the case may be. They're on one side of the court. The dunkers 6'8", 6'9", not even joking. 6'8", 6'9", 6'7", like D1, like whatever the case may be. They're on one side. So I'm on that side with them. So everybody's looking at me. They say, "You dunk?" I was like, "Yeah, I dunk." So I bet. So it gets to the point where everybody's showing off their stuff. So the dribblers have to do a nice dribble, show off your best dribble, and they got to throw up a lob to dunk it. So the dribblers showing off their stuff. They throw up a lob, and they're going. The 6'8" people are dunking it. Boom, smooth. Dunking it smooth. Dunking it smooth. It comes to my time to dunk. He puts it. The guy dribbles, throws the ball up. I take it, windmill it. Boom, punch it. Crazy. Everybody's like, what?
And I feel like it's something about seeing somebody that is shorter, not of the average tall stature. Dunking.
Exactly.
It's more explosive.
Exactly.
Because that guy, you have to float. You really
you have to like. There's no like. I'm just not feeling.
Just getting
I have to jump every time. There's no like in between.
More exaggerated.
Yeah. For a 6'8" guy, he could kind of just halfway get away with just. Yeah,
getting
I have to jump full height every single time unless I'm not making it. so I windmill it. So I guess when I windmill it, not even joking, they're like, all right, let's see somebody get creative. Because like I said before that, they were just doing regular dunks. So now everybody's trying to windmill. People are missing the windmill. I come again. Boom, boom, punch it. Because again, you're with the Globetrotters. You have to be consistently dunking, right? It's not about doing one crazy dunk one time. You have to be able to do that crazy dunk multiple times every single night. So it's not about so much the best dunk, but who's the most consistent dunk. So we get to that. You know, some of them do windmills, whatever the case may be, but like I said, they're not making it. So maybe they make it, make the next one, miss the next one, whatever the case may be. So then the dribblers leave to the other side. We separate, boom, boom, boom. Then they have the dunkers just freestyle, do your best dunk. So my dunk is the one-hand windmill. That's my signature scoop dunk.
Elbow on the rim.
Yeah, I don't put my elbow on the rim. I do not put my elbow because I've done that one time, and I'm not even gonna flex like I did on 10 feet. I did it on like 9 feet, and bro, my arm was cooked. So I don't even think I would even attempt it on 10 feet.
Yeah,
I'll be good off that. But the one hand windmill is definitely my signature. Like I said, I jump very high. I dunk very hard. Jump full speed. Bound, just punch it. Like you would literally hear it all throughout the gym. I actually found that dunk one time in the gym just from like just playing around, like just because it's so easy to put the ball here and you have so much control. You don't have to worry about nothing. All you gotta do is jump. At this point, the ball's already here, so you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? So that was the easiest dunk to do, and it's also very good looking. You know what I mean? It looks good when you do it. So I pull it out. Boom, punch the dunk. Everybody's like, yo, I didn't even know you could dunk like that. And that's when I have young legs. So then I do the 360 variation. 360, boom. Then I'm coming up like this. Underneath the hoop.
We got to pull some of these up.
I got some videos for you. That's when I was young, fresh off the broken foot too.
On the part of your career, the highlight, things are going well.
Yeah.
I guess a question I'm really curious is, growing up, because we know the Globetrotters have been a while for a while.
Yeah.
Growing up, is it like when did you first hear about the Globetrotters for one? That's my first question. Was it early on or was it right after college? And then to know now what the Globetrotters have done for you, how do you feel like you inspire kids, the next generation? Because now people know about the Globetrotters and what they do and what it is. So now you have kids looking up to you in the same realm as that they would look up to an NBA player. So just knowing when were you introduced to the game and how is your induction in the game now impacting the next generation?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question because this brings me back to the time when I was actually just a kid watching TV, and I was a big Family Guy, big American Dad guy, and an episode of American Dad had featured the Globetrotters. And the Globetrotters are obviously featured in pop culture a lot, but I think one thing that really just stuck out to me You know, I've always known who the Globetrotters were, obviously, just because from YouTube videos and just people going crazy. But I never really started to do like an in-depth look of them until I saw them on American Dad. They were on an episode, whatever the case may be. It was Curly Neal. And then I've always saw them before, but I never actually did like a deep dive on the history. Then I learned all the history about them, how they got started and everything. And I'm like, yo, this is a very impactful team. And they did a lot for the Black community. You know, they're trailblazers in the sport because without them, you know, who's to say that Black people get integrated into NBA? You know, it took them beating the world champion Minnesota Lakers at the time twice for people to realize that, oh, these Black people could actually play basketball. And then they, you know, the next what, 3-4 years they get inducted. The first Black person in the NBA is from the Globetrotters. So, you know,
I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, Nate Sweetwater Clifton. Yep. He's the first Black person in the NBA to get drafted. And he's from the Globetrotters. So at that time, it was just very, very surprising to me just to see the impact they had. And as far as how I inspired these kids, when I played with the Harlem Wizards, one story that really stuck out to me was a parent coming and his son is crying. His son is crying, whatever the case may be. And he's like, you know, what you guys do is amazing. We get to see top tier entertainment, high flying acrobatics, amazing basketball skill at a fraction of the price of the NBA ticket. Because parents can't afford that. He said, I can't even afford an NBA ticket, but I could bring him here and you guys give fan engagement like no other. And you guys keep us engaged and having us have, you know, the best experience in a sense for that one night. It feels like you're at an NBA game, even though you're not. So the biggest thing I take from that is no matter if we're playing every single day, like we are playing every single day, you know, you don't know who's at that show. That's their first introduction to basketball. So you got to put your best foot forward and just always put all the tiredness and all the drama, whatever the case may be, because you're on tour for 6 months at a time, sometimes even longer. So there's a lot that goes into that.
That's a
it's not just easy. It's just going on the court and just being happy. And you got to literally, you know, travel 5 hours on the bus, play the next day, travel 8 hours on the plane, whatever the case may be. You're constantly moving. But when it's time to go on that court, it's time to just, you know, put your best foot forward and show these kids some of the best basketball, you know, that they came to see, because we're somebody's Christmas gift. We're somebody's birthday gift. You know, people paid to see us. So I really do not take that for granted at all. And I really try to inspire kids because I'm from a small town in Elmsford, graduating class, like 100 people from a small D3 college in the Bronx, New York. Graduating class a little bigger, but I could probably count them. And now playing with the world's most famous basketball team, like you know, they transcend basketball. Everybody knows who the Globetrotters are. So the fact that I'm able to be here and show them that no matter where you start, you know, anything is possible if you really get creative. And you know, obviously you have to work for it. You know, anything's possible. So I love talking to kids like that and just telling them that, you know, anything is possible, and just make sure that even if it's not, you know, you can go to school and maybe not the NBA, you know, whatever the case may be, the NBA didn't work out, but in that same breath, maybe you worked hard enough to get a full scholarship. So now you don't have to pay for school, right? Or in the same breath, all those connections you made through college basketball, now you got a good job and you made that connection through sports. So sport doesn't need to be the end all be all. You can use this to transition to something else. Like, you know, my boy FaZe with a podcast now, and the intro is amazing. The production value is amazing. Like, you use sport to find this passion, and now you like doing this. So it's like, same thing with me. I like content creation, right? So I like making videos. So I just made videos of me dunking. But before that, when I was like 11 years old, I was making little stop motion videos with my action figures. Like, I'm just like always making videos. So, you know, basketball and sport in general is just a vehicle that you can use to find what you want to do in life, find your passion, and everything you learn from responsibility to discipline is something that is universal everywhere, you know, wherever you go. So I'm always trying to inspire the kids and tell them that, you know, anything's possible and work hard for sure.
Because it really is, man. And I think one thing too that's crazy, like that you said before, like you have to, like I think a lot of people, especially with me, like I didn't really know much about the Harlem Globetrotters, but like back in my in Chicago, I remember I went and they were at some event. I don't remember what it was, but I used to always see them spinning the ball. Doing, I'm like, oh yeah, let me do it, all that and doing that. But you don't really realize how much work actually goes into that. Because like you may see it and it's like, okay, yeah, this is fun. They just out there kind of messing around. These might not be the top tier athlete, but you guys are putting in work. It's a lot of hard work in order to do that, because you have to put on the best show possible because people are. These are Christmas presents. These are birthday presents. So that's huge. Because I remember Kobe saying that. He's like, I'm hurt or whatever. I can't sit out. Somebody's coming here to see me. They've never seen me before. You know what I mean? So that's huge, bro. That's huge.
And with that, you know what I'm saying, now understanding how you're impacting the kids, now understanding, you know what I'm saying, what role you're what role you're at in your 20, 50 years from now, what kind of legacy do you want to have? What kind of legacy do you want to leave on this world, on the generation to come? How do you want to be impactful?
Yeah, I think I caught a little bit of your question. I know it cut out a little bit,
Yeah,
but
cut out a little bit.
if I'm hearing you correctly, you said 5 to 10 years from now, what I want to look back and see what legacy was left.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is crazy, but yeah, basically just your legacy. How do you want to?
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said,
from this place, what do you want your impact to be over?
Yes, for sure. I think the number one thing for me, I faced adversity multiple times in my life. I lost my father, I broke my foot, and that's not even to add that in that same season with the Globetrotters, my rookie year, I dunked so hard. I was in Canada. I did my one-hand windmill. I dunked the ball so hard, the ball went through the hoop, and I landed on the basketball. Grade 3 ankle sprain. I was out for the rest of the season. So another foot injury to the opposite foot. So I broke my right foot. Then I sprained grade 3 ankle sprain on my left foot. And that was another time where I'm like, yo, I cannot catch a break. I was like, I cannot catch a break. So the biggest thing from that life lesson is in life, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something. As he got bad Wi-Fi right now, but the podcast is still going on. Like there's always going to be something. No matter if everything's going good, there's always going to be something bad. And it's not that, it's not that you have to look at it like, damn, this is happening. You have to accept it. You have to embrace it and know that when something bad happens, you have good foundation and good discipline to get back to where you need to be. So because I already broke my foot, because I already lost my father, I already had that mentality to be like, all right, yo, this ankle sprain is just another bump in the road and I'm going to get over this. So it took me coming back that next season, played an amazing season, didn't get hurt, whatever the case may be. And that was that, but again, like I said, in life, there's always going to be adversity. So you got to be able to overcome that. So I want to be living proof to the kids who maybe come from tough situations that no matter what you go through, I don't have that crazy. So some people, my story's not even that crazy, right? Everybody has their own story. So no matter what you're going through, you're always going to have to go through adversity. So that's my number one thing. For the kids that are listening and the kids I do want to inspire, no matter what cards you're dealt, just work with them, make it work, and find creative ways to get out of the situation. Another thing is just because my mom worked 2 jobs, I really relied on my community, right? So I was at the park, like I said, I was at the park with my friends. I was at friends' house, so I really have to say that. What is it? It takes a village to raise a kid. Is that the same?
Yeah.
Yo, so honestly, it took a lot of my mom's friends to really. And my mom and my friends and whatever the case may be, but it took a lot for us to get raised and not be bad kids, stay on the straight path. So because of that, I want to be somebody who always gives back to the community. That's why, this morning I just came back from doing basketball training. I do basketball training for kids of all ages, from as young as 5 to as old as college. So I'm always thinking of ways to give back. I get sneakers from the Globetrotters. There's nothing for me to, give it to a kid who doesn't have sneakers or maybe going through a hard time. So I'm always looking at ways to give back to the community because I know how much the community did for me. And, I do a lot of work with the nonprofit Carver Center in Port Chester. And, I help kids find jobs from low income families. And that's another thing I take a lot of pride in. A kid came to me with a paycheck. She was like, I never got paid before. This is like so much money in my home. And that just alone, I was like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm like, yo, like,
for real,
it takes nothing for me to, make a connection somewhere in the community and be like, hey, would you be interested in, getting this kid on board and, whatever the case may be. So I think, again, for that, I want to be living proof that no matter what happens in life, you can still make it. I want to be somebody who always gives back to the community and someone that can be a mentor to young athletes and anybody who needs someone to talk to, And another thing, I want to be somebody who can give confidence and instill confidence in these kids because I have kids who are as young as 4 years old. And half the time, it's not even the fact that you're not good at something. You just don't have the confidence to do it. So
exactly.
Who knows, man? Like I'm the most non-confident kid ever, bro. I remember growing up, my mom took me to a basketball practice in Greenberg, TDYCC, and they were doing 2-ball dribbles down the court. I couldn't do it. I was so discouraged. I didn't want to go back. I didn't go back. And that messed my growth up. Like I said, even though in high school I played big man stuff, I could have been on the outside working on my own stuff. But the confidence thing was a real thing that I actually struggled with. So I'm still trying to get my confidence back. Sometimes I feel like I have imposter syndrome. Like if I'm in a room with somebody as a Globetrotter, I'm like, yo, I don't even feel like I should be here.
I told y'all I keep coming full circle. They keep coming full circle. Talking about this on the pod.
This is why I'm gonna tell you the guests. So when we did this 30-day pod, we put together a list of guests. We reached out to people. I put together a good email. I wanted to make sure I do this right because the curation of every guest that we have on this pod needed to mean something to what unfazed means.
Yeah.
And every episode that we're doing is tying itself together. Everyone's saying things that come back and connect to each other. And I think that's huge because the biggest thing is you're saying is leaving that impact. The impact that you're leaving, and I knew that just in our interactions with you, and that's huge that you're even saying that the legacy that you want to leave is the impact that you leave on other people.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
feeling that you can do it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless where you come from, and you're still continuing to give back, man. And the imposter syndrome, how you feel like an imposter. We had a whole episode on that. We called it "Fake It Till You Make It." So it's like one of those things, this understanding who you are, being confident in yourself, finding your passion, and then knowing that you can get creative with that passion and you could build a life around that. I think that you're a living testament to that, bro. So I think that, I just want to praise you on that, give you flowers for that, for sure.
On a lighter note, did anybody ever tell you favorite Lil Bow Wow? I ain't gonna lie. Like, who you interviewing?
Lil Bow, I never got that.
I swear to God, I'm like,
I got Rush Hour. What's his name? Juntao. They call me Juntao for Rush Hour.
Lil Bow Wow. I'm like, what's going on?
I never got Bow Wow, man. I get Asian people. That's the only people. Anytime someone compares me to somebody, they always say someone Asian. I'm like, bro.
Definitely like Rashad Moss, right?
That is hilarious.
But for sure. Quick question too, since we on a lighter note.
And this the podcast part because you can't see E, but you can hear him. So
you can't see me right now?
Can't see you. You just froze, but
What's
it's good.
Going
Say
on with this?
It's coming back. It's coming back.
Keep rolling, baby.
Let it out.
But favorite dunk, man. We know you can windmill. We know you can back scratch, whatever. What's the favorite dunk, man?
If I'm talking best dunk I've done of all time, had to be the 360 between the legs. That dunk was big.
Between the legs.
I can't even do it again. I tried. I'm gonna keep trying. I did 360. I'm gonna send you the video. Yes. I'll send you some videos of that so you can see it. That dunk is OD. 360 between the legs is the best dunk ever, and I did that. I was like, all right.
Come on now, yeah.
And I want to ask you too, is there anybody that you like, as far as it don't even necessarily got to be mentors, but who are some people like in the space that you like look up to? Because I know, like you said, we had Max on there. Max done some crazy dunks. And just as far as dunking, as far as content, as far as basketball, are there people that you kind of look up to in the space?
I think I'm definitely inspired by, a lot of people. There's I would say that the whole dunk community is just constantly keeping me on my toes because the 360 between the legs when I did it was like very crazy to me. Now I feel like I see that all the time. So, definitely just videos in the dunk community, but just the people I met along the way from playing with the Wizards and playing with the Globetrotters, from people like Jordan Sutherland. His name is 1 Foot God on Instagram. He's a great Maxwell Pierce, of course.
Yes.
I can go on for days. My man, Spider from the Globetrotters. He was he's probably like 36, 37, still doing windmill dunks. Still going crazy. Like he's still like, wow, these are another Globetrotter guy. Jumpin' Joe, another player for the Globetrotters. He's jumps over
all
five.
These names sound like they just jumping out the gym. Like, these are you can't have these names unless you can bounce.
Yeah, exactly. This guy Jumpin' Joe, like I said, we play every day. He jumps over 5 people every single night. Every single night.
That's crazy.
The fact that you did that, and now it's kind of like you have to do it. I'm like, yo, I would have put it to 2. I would have put it to 2 in his
exactly. Now you got to do.
I got to do 5 every. So he does 5 every night. So there's a countless amount of people, from my coach Lou Dunbar, 40 years with the Harlem Globetrotters, just hearing his stories and everything he talked about. And, you really start to see your impact when you start to see the people around you and the work they do. So you're like, yo, this is the same thing I'm doing. It's crazy. But definitely my biggest motivation, I tell Max this all the time, is Max. If it wasn't for Max, I would never even took this path to even, maybe I do it, but maybe I do it a little later. But Max literally made me do it for that instance. Wow. He went viral with that dunk. Then he signs with the Globetrotters. Then he starts, I'm like, yo, there's an avenue to get paid and, get, some type of buzz off dunking. I was like, I can do that. So,
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty dope. Just like looking at it like that. And I wanted to ask too, because there are so many people in this space and you got to feed off each other, continue building content for you. Like we already talked about kind of your legacy, but in these next years, what does the transition, because it's funny, I be talking to Max all the time. He like, I got to get right. I'm like, I ain't dunked in a minute. It's like, I'm getting older now, whatever it is. But, what is then for the next like few years? What are you doing? Like, what are you building? Like, what does it
So
look like?
yeah.
Because I
So I
know,
think
yeah.
Yeah, I think you're talking about that 30-day unfazed challenge, man. I've been in the gym, man. I've been in the
Come
gym because
on.
I'm trying to get right. So I've been in the gym
I'm
for the
gonna be in
last
there.
week,
That's
I'm gonna
that's
be
week
in
and
two
a
there.
of
half.
us. That's two of us. That's
Yeah,
that's
I'm
so
gonna be in there.
I'm starting to see my gains. I got some protein shake over there. You know what
oh
I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean, my grilled chicken and broccoli, whatever the case may be. But so
Let's
I'm in the
go.
gym. I'm trying to get back to, because it got to a point where dunking obviously became my job,
Yeah.
So in a sense, I don't want to say I lost my love for it, but it became a job. So when I got home from the Globetrotters, I'm not trying to think about dunking. I'm done. I just dunked 1,000 times. So
Yeah.
it got to the point where I didn't necessarily have fun dunking anymore. But
Yeah.
I'm in the space now that I'm having fun dunking again. I
Yeah.
just did an event with DeMar Hamlin for his
Oh wow. Yeah,
for
I seen
Chasing
that. I
Millions. Yeah,
seen
yeah.
that.
So I did a celebrity game and I was going crazy. I was dunking and everything crazy. So that's how I got my following, was posting videos of me dunking. And I feel
Wow.
like, no better way to get back into it than, getting back to that journey, posting videos of me dunking like it was back when I
Yeah.
was 17, 18 years old again. So
Yeah.
I'm in the gym. I want to get into the space where I can create big clinics and basketball programs for kids. I have a whole bunch of individual clients, but I never did like one big clinic or camp. So
Yes.
I want to get that organized. I definitely want to do that. So
That's huge, bro.
definitely getting that tagged with either what is it? Maybe an S corp or something like that, LLC. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Maybe a nonprofit, maybe an S corp, maybe LLC. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but
Yeah.
something that's in the space of basketball and mentorships, because I do school visits and I tell my story when I go to school, so I can do that alone. I don't have to do it only with the Globetrotters. I can do it myself. So I want to do
Exactly.
that space. Be kind of like a motivational speaker in a sense.
Exactly. So staying
Getting right.
involved.
Yep, getting healthy, starting my own foundation, dunking again, getting back into
Yeah.
basketball, and honestly, just trying to get into. I'm turning 28 in December, so
Okay. There we go.
trying to make that next step. I'm trying to make my next step the good step. I want to make sure I'm doing the right things as far as I'm investing. I'm making some good money off investing, so I'm just trying to make sure I put my money in the right places and I have everything set up. So when I do turn 30, I'm set.
We good. We got some stuff going.
I got my crib situation
Yeah,
set up.
yeah.
Whatever the case may
Facts.
be. But I'm just getting older, so I'm trying to prepare for that. But
Yeah, trying to get
as
right.
far
That's
as
what's
as
up,
far
man.
as basketball, and I'm still dunking, I'm still
Yeah.
getting after it.
Come on, man. Hey, come on, got to,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Got
Yes,
to
sir.
until we can't no more, man.
For
I'm telling
sure.
you,
For
you
sure.
got to. That's what's up, bro. I think one of the main things too for me is like trying to keep the dream alive. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Yep.
whatever it is, I think a lot of people they get to a point where it is like depressing or it's frustrating. Like I'm not at that level, but it looks so cool when people are doing it and succeeding on
Yeah.
a bunch of different platforms. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yes.
not in the
Yes.
NFL, but I made it to the UFL. That now I'm
Exactly.
getting paid for that. And now I'm doing a podcast and I'm doing all these things. So
Mhm.
continuing to keep those passions involved in your life because we had a conversation, I think, yesterday because we just seen the F1 movie. Have you seen the F1 movie?
Nah, I want to see it though. I saw the
Oh
trailer.
man, it's
Trailer.
crazy. It was
Shit. I
crazy.
might
It
watch
was
it right now.
crazy.
You too, yeah.
Nah, you got to. But one of the things in the movie, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was like we had the conversation yesterday. It was like he said, if the only last thing I do is drive this car, I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's how we need to live our life, bro. And
Yeah.
that's what I be saying a lot on the podcast because what's the point of living a life if you're working a 9 to 5, you putting all your time into someone else's dream and you don't even have a passion or you don't have other things that you're doing? We understand you got to have
For
money,
sure.
you got to make money, but a lot of your time, you should make your life so a lot of your time is focused on whatever excites you, whatever
Exactly.
gets you going. If it's
Exactly.
not like that, what are you doing?
And I would say for the younger kids, just to find that, because obviously you have to find it.
Yes.
For the younger kids, I feel like that passion should be succeeding in high school sports, maybe winning
Hmm.
a championship and getting a scholarship to college. As a high
Yes.
school, that should be that should be your motivation. I want to work out, I want to practice, I want to train because I want to succeed in high school and go to a good college. When you get to
Exactly.
college, your goal should be keeping that scholarship and
Yes.
graduate with no goal. And best case scenario, you go to the league, right? Whatever
Yeah.
the case may be, your respective league. Worst case scenario, you play a 4-year career, whatever the case may be, and you make a
Mhm.
lot of good friends, a lot of good connections. And
Yes.
now from that time you played basketball, you
Mhm.
have a background to, now pivot to whatever you want to do. So
Exactly.
so for college kids, your motivation should be, keeping that scholarship or getting a scholarship. It's never too late to get one, right? So getting the
Yes.
scholarship and, succeeding in college. And then once that college peaks, that's when you're kind of like that's when I guess you're in no man's land. You got to kind of find out what you want. So for us, we had a dream. You know, I wanted to play professional. You wanted to play professional.
Exactly.
So we kept chasing it. So for anybody else who's graduating in college, you got to find what your next dream is, because once you lose your dream, like you said, you just go through the motions. You just
go through the motions, bro.
Because nothing's wrong with working a 9 to 5. 9 to 5 gets a bad rep because
it does.
It gets the rep of 9 to 5 with no dream. But you can work at 9 to 5 and have a dream. Still vacation, still have a social, and that's perfectly fine. It's only when you work that 9 to 5 and you have no other passion, and it's like you're just going through the motion. You're just going through the motion. So, you know, it's not about winning in a standard of the society's standard of winning. It's about what makes you win. So for me, a win is me having a great time with my girlfriend, me ending a week healthy, and having fun and getting ready for the weekend. That's my win. And I'm okay with that. So never feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. Just make sure you're only never not gonna be where you're supposed to be if you're not making any progress or not. If you're not working out, you're not eating good. So maybe you're not where you're supposed to be. But if you're working out, you're eating good, you have good social connections with your friends and your family.
Exactly.
You know, that's a positive, man. That's a positive.
Exactly. But you're here preaching, man. You're here preaching, man. They're gonna take a lot from this episode, man. Man, I appreciate you, bro, because a lot of things you saying, bro, is connect exactly what the Unphazed podcast is, man. And that's kind of what we do. We want to hear your story because we already know you got a motivational story, the things that you went through and still continuing to dominate, and you're working out, you're eating right, you're going through everything we go through is just preparing us for that next thing. So it's like we're continuing to be great, we're continuing to put one foot in front of the other and continuing to follow the dream, man. So it's so motivational to see that. And I want to ask you too, one of the main things we ask people, one of the final questions, right, is how do you stay unfazed? Unfazed, of course, that's the name of the podcast, but you know, there's social media. People get caught up in social media. People get caught up in everything going on in the world, bro. So I definitely want to ask you, with everything going on in the world and life personally, what do you do to stay unfazed?
That's a great question. That's a great question. With everything that is set out to phase you, how do you stay unfazed?
Come on, man.
That's a great question. I think the biggest way I stay unfazed is having open communication with my girlfriend. She's a big support system for me. So I would say having a support system, of course, to have someone to talk to. That's a way that you can, you know, have all those distractions and everything that's coming in the world, just kind of just focus in. All right. So also for me, I'm self-motivated, right? So I want to get to the next step. I want to be healthy. I want to feel good as I get older. So I'm locked in. I'm not worried about all the noise and all the distractions of everything else. I'm worried about what I can do to make sure that I'm living my best life. Like I said, it's never up to the society's W or the society's win. Whatever you can do for yourself to make sure that you are succeeding, that's how I stay unfazed. So I have good discipline in that. I have a good foundation, a good support system. So I'm never worried about what the next man's doing. I'm only worried about what I can do to, you know, succeed. So that's how I stay unfazed. Come on,
brother. Yeah.
For sure.
I appreciate you, bro. And
I hope I answered that right. And I hope I didn't come off too tired with this, man. But I was trying to make sure I thought about what I said before I said it. Make sure I give you something impactful.
You're spitting, bro. You spitting, bro. Every single time. Everything you said on the pod, bro, it was perfect, bro. I definitely appreciate that. And I know a lot of people gonna be able to take something from this pod, whether it's a gem about your story, about pushing through, about being creative, about following your passion. You drop so many gems, bro. So this is what this pod is for, bro. So I definitely appreciate you, bro. And this is only the 30 days. So we having people on every day. We're doing stuff every day, man. But I definitely want to follow your journey. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm tapped in with you, but let the people know where they could follow you. I know you're doing the basketball training. If you got the basketball training page, whatever it is, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you guys can follow me at Vision Wavy on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you guys want to stick around for some vlogs, I have that on my YouTube, full-length vlogs and stuff like that. If you guys live in Westchester County and you guys want some basketball training or any type of training, let me know. You can reach out to me again on Vision Wavy, DM or email there. And as far as everything else, last remarks, man, just find what you love and find a way to make that passion make you money, man. I feel like once you find that, you're golden. And of course, like you're saying, never have one stream. So, you know, I'm doing the basketball, I'm working, I'm doing the Globetrotters, I'm doing social media. Find everything so it comes together as one and you never feel like you're dependent on one. So, you know,
come on, man. That an amazing episode, man. Y'all stay unfazed, man. We have
stay unfazed. Appreciate you, my man.
Buckets on the pod, man. We locked in.
Sir.
Stay unfazed, brother.
Too. Get that Fagos gear. Let me get that Fagos.
Get all that. Yeah, come on, show them that. We're gonna have all the information in the bio too. We're gonna link it all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Appreciate you,
bro. I'm unfazed, yeah. Finna stack this break.